I actually interviewed him not that long ago about his religious beliefs, and I've had a smashing letter here from Mrs. J. Watson from Liverpool, who says, "My daughter Caroline is handicapped both in mind and body, but she loves Cliff Richard, and with me being a Christian, I was very interested in the interview with him in After 9. Cliff said something that I always get said to me. How can you believe in a God that can do that to your child? I also believe that Caroline is one of his special children, and because of this, he must love and care for her. I would like Cliff to know that my answer to the people who ask that about Caroline is the Lord has given me something he loves very much to look after, so why should I be sad about a very special gift?" Well, I think that's a very special thing to say, Mrs. Watson from Liverpool. Thank you very much indeed. Anyway, as I say, Cliff is due to leave the West End hit musical Time, which he's been in for nearly a year, on April the 11th. And I caught up with him recently in his dressing room at the Dominion Theatre, and we had a lovely nostalgic chat about his career. He started off by telling me how he got his first big break.
I came to town and worked at the Two Eyes and got the feel of playing in London. Nothing happened there. I then went to the Gaumont Shepherd's Bush and told them that I would top the bill at their talent competition, but I didn't want to be part of the talent competition. I wanted to be star billing. We did it once and it was 100% success. So the next month we went back, took an agent who watched us, who then took a tiny record that we'd made to Norrie Paramore, the late Norrie Paramore of EMI, and Norrie gave us an audition and that was it.
And of course the first hit was Move It, and the first #1 was Living Doll, which is one of my all-time favourites.
Well, Living Doll's been an unusual thing in my career because of course I've had 2 #1s with it.
I know.
And I believe I go down in Tim Rice's Book of Records, I think, because I don't think any artist has ever had a #1 with the same song twice. So I'm rather pleased with that one.
Got myself a crying, talking, sleeping, walking, living doll. Got to do my best to please her just 'cause she's a living doll. Got a roving eye and that is why she satisfies my soul. Got the one and only walking, talking, living doll.
It was a very, very exciting time, I must admit. Well, you know, if you're 18 and you come out of school and you've got girls screaming at you all over the place and audiences are raving, and I mean, it can't help but be exciting. So I have very, very fond memories of it, although I'm not of that brigade of people who say those were the days.
I said, come on over, baby, a whole lot of shit going on. Oh, yeah, come on over, baby, baby, you can't go wrong. We ain't begging, we got a whole lot of shit going on. Oh, yeah, I said, come on over, baby, we got chicken in the barn. Oh, man, now, come on over, baby, baby, you can't go wrong. We ain't begging, we got a whole lot of shit going on. Oh, have some fun tonight. We're gonna have some fun tonight. Woo! Have some fun tonight. Hey, hey, yeah, everything'll be alright. Come on over, a whole lot of shit going on. Shake it, baby, shake. Shake it, baby, shake. Shake it, baby, shake. Shake it, baby, shake. Come on over, whole lot of shaking going on.
It's incredible seeing those pictures of all the screaming girls there. I mean, they just couldn't have heard anything that you were actually singing.
I don't think they did, you know, because in those days we didn't have PA systems. I mean, that's another reason why I like today better than yesterday, because we now have wonderful sound systems, terrific lighting, so you always look and sound good. And if, in fact, an audience was to scream, the sound guy would just turn his volume up so that you could get it across. Over there, I used to arrive in a theatre, and they used to hand me something that looked like a gas microphone, and it belonged to the theatre. It was probably a PA address system. The Shadows were not mic'd at all. They just stuck their amplifiers on the stage, pointed them up at the gallery, and sort of looked and said, 2,000 seats? Oh, that'll be volume 5. And off we went. So that if you were on the right-hand side of the theatre, you only heard Hank. And if you were, well, that wouldn't be too bad. If you were on the left-hand side, you'd only hear Bruce, and that was dreadful. And I was in the middle, and you never, ever heard me. So, you know, the screaming was all just part of the newness of rock and roll, and no one really cared what we sounded like because they had the records.
And were some fans quite relentless pursuing you?
Yes. I mean, they did some crazy things like send themselves in packing cases to me, and sort of inveigled their way into theatres and appeared in cupboards when you opened doors and things like that. That's all happened to me in the past. So it's all still part of that era that I remember with great warmth.
That's smashing. What a nice man. And you can see the second part of that interview next Thursday. And we've got some more fab clips that we've been digging out from the archives, but Claire's been sitting watching that with interest. I wonder, when you see those old films, Claire, what does it bring back for you?
Here, this far from my mouth. And there'll be a live band playing in the studio, and you can hear every word. And nowadays, I'm told, lip the mic, you know, we touch the mic on our mouth. I mean, I suppose it's because we go for perfection. I don't think the sound was perfect in those days. And nowadays, we try and get the voice totally clean of everything else, even on stage. But there were, again, you're back to pioneer days, and it's great to have been part of that, to say, I sang live on television. I still can sing live on television.
Let me sing a funny song with crazy words that roll along. And if my song can start you laughing, I'm happy, happy. Let me sing.
What do you feel like when you see those old clips again?
Some of it's all right. I'm very pleased with some of the films. Of course, Summer Holiday still retains a magic all of its own. The young ones I only dislike because I just look like a fat old slug in it, you know, and I hate my looks in it. But I can't blame that on the film. The film was okay. It was just me that was horrible.
We're all going on a summer holiday. No more working for a week or two. Fun and laughter on a summer holiday. No more worries for me or you. For a week or two. We're going where the sun shines brightly. We're going where the sea is blue. We've seen it in the movies.
I just love Summer Holiday. It's one of my favourites. Is it right that you almost had Barbra Streisand in it?
I'm not quite sure how close we got to getting Barbra Streisand to play, but all I know is that Herbert Ross, who choreographed the film, said, I know someone who could play the part opposite Cliff, this girl, the girl lead. And they went across and saw someone in the chorus line, and it was Barbra Streisand. And they said, well, no, she's not quite right. So maybe she wasn't, though. She'd probably have been too big for the part, if you know what I mean. She'd have
Dominated.
Yes, because in fact, girls that play opposite pop singers have a terrible job in life. They sort of stand there smiling while you sing at them. And it's very, you know, it's not exactly the best role to get, I suppose.
Now, of course, it's back in 1965 that you actually discovered Christianity. I wonder, were you at all nervous about admitting that to your fans?
I wasn't originally, but I had a lot of very mature Christian friends who said, look, you know, okay, you may lose some fans, but if God is real to you, if Jesus is part of your life, surely that's not going to matter. 10% of your fans won't matter at all. You can survive on the 90% left. It's more difficult now. I'm thinking about, you know, nowadays, like when after John Anderton got slammed for claiming to be a prophet of God, they're even trying to do it to me and the Sun. And a gentleman called Kevin O'Sullivan, who's supposed to have had an exclusive interview with me, says that I'm giving up time because God has told me to. God has told me to promote Christianity. You know, so I don't understand all that kind of trying to make fun of me. I believe it's trying to pull down what I believe. Whether people believe it or not is neither here nor there, but my choice is, and my freedom is to live in this country and believe what I want to believe and not be ridiculed.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know how you handle that. And you have been pursued quite relentlessly by the press about your private life. And the shadow of the press kind of hung over your relationship with Sue Barker. Is it, in a way, more difficult to have a relationship with the press always on your back?
Not really. I mean, to be honest with you, if a relationship as Sue's and mine was not going to come to anything, we might have enjoyed another couple of years of just being closer friends. And we're still close friends. I mean, she was around the other day. We had dinner. She's seen the show a couple of times. So we're still very good friends. I'm not saying that if the press hadn't hounded us, we'd have ended up at the altar. But certainly the pressure brought it to an end sooner. I mean, we both had to make up our minds much quicker. And in a way, that's unfair, I suppose.
And do you have any personal ambitions left? I mean, I have to ask you this. Do you think that you will ever get married?
Oh dear, I don't know. As I get older, obviously I think to myself, well, no, I don't. Obviously I haven't needed to marry, otherwise I would be married. My life is pretty settled. I'm not unhappy. In fact, I spent a little time, which I'm now getting over, getting very to be on the offensive, because people used to say, when are you going to get settled down and be happy? And I thought, wait a minute, I'm quite happy now. I feel really settled. Do I actually need to conform to marriage to be happy and settled? The answer is no. Maybe if it does happen in the future, fine. But maybe not, and I'm prepared for it, and I don't think the public are going to be absolutely broken-hearted if I don't get married. I'd like to think they'd be broken-hearted if I was unhappy, but I'm not unhappy.
That's great to hear. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Absolutely. Well done. Well said, Cliff. Well, it was really smashing to me.